What is up? I got my brother in the background. Grant, say hello. Mute as always. That is very nice. All right, today we're going to be going over some Shox demos. Shox being one of the best players in the world, in contention last year for one of the best players in the world. Um, Iconically, Shox has always had unstable teams. The lives of his teams have always been pretty short-lived. Uh, and in order for Shox to really shine, I think he needs to be in a stable environment and to have teammates that will respect his calling style. I think him in the pre-mix G2 with Scream was very, very potent, but I think that he has an even better array of people now in Kenny S, NBK, and Body. Um, I think Apex is an okay entry fragger, but I do believe that people like Body and MBK add a lot of stability to that team and reliability that Shox didn't have before. So when you have somebody on, there he goes. So we're gonna check out Shox on Inferno and a match against FaZe. I think Kerrigan bodies a lot of people on Inferno because him and Nico on B site can shut things down pretty easily. But it looks like they never got their defense rolling on this map, and Shox went 30-9. So dropping 30 frags against one of the top three teams, um, and maybe one of the favorites going into the major, is pretty impressive. So hopefully we can see something really innovative out of Shox, especially on this map that a lot of teams are playing. Going into the pistol round, Shox is alone, and G2 is pushing down mid, getting a lot of control. Apex and MBK going ham. Shox easily dueling Nico. He whiffed all of his shots. Easy pistol round for G2. Pretty weird to see pretty weird to see FaZe give up so much banana control early in the round. Throws the close nade just in case of a timing. Interesting. So instead of getting the deep smoke like Dupree usually throws for Glaive and Zipnix, they are opting for a top mid smoke or a top banana smoke. I don't know if this is that good on a eco, just because they can flash through this, and you're giving them a lot of range here, unless they're planning on retaking it later in the round. But it looks like they already got a frag mid, so I'm expecting somebody to rotate off B here. I think Body is playing dedicated sites. As far as I know, he's usually been a rotator. Yep. And they're going to full save here because they didn't get any frags.
Bomb has been planted.
Shox looking a little frustrated, to be fair. Ooh. Is that new tech? Can you get up on that thing? Just holding sort of passive here. Hearing a lot of steps from CT. And it is Body holding him on the B side. For sure, he's lost a lot of money there. And Shox gets the last one. Wow. So they get aced off of their plants, and now their econ is going to be pretty rough, considering they lost the pistol round and had to rebuy. Interesting flash here. Holding for any top banana aggression. FaZe getting control of apartments in top middle, looking to bust through brackets, probably onto A, with Nico lurking on banana. Nico heading back down banana, giving up control. Really interesting to see that Body and Shox aren't going for any information plays. They're just playing sort of passive inside of the elbow. When you're playing a 2-3 split like this, I feel like having information is important. So I don't know if this is super optimal from them, at least before the gun rounds. Trying to abuse your utility is usually pretty good. Body rotating away first, leaving Shox on the site. And Shox is chilling at first oranges. FaZe is already up brackets. Alu gets the pick on library. Body and MPK get picks. And he leaves the site knowing that bomb could be there. Whoever's in Little Pit is probably getting called out for... Ooh, Kerrigan gets NBK in Little Pit. Sees Nico on the... Ooh, destroys him.
Bomb has been planted.
Hump versus Kerrigan. I think Kerrigan wins this here. Yep. So, with FaZe winning the Force, G2 should be on a Nico. Just listening for any top banana. Looks like they're going for a head stack here at New Box. I like this is pretty good. Unless they molly this off, it's really, really strong. Especially, well, maybe not especially on a gun round, but in a pistol, you never know. Body head stack. Probably not expecting Shox to be here. Shox gets 2 clean 50 pass. And FaZe ends up picking up the round. Somebody throwing the top banana smoke for them again. Body playing anti-flash. Looks like they're going for a retake smoke. Alright, so I like this. In case anyone's pushed up half wall, as this smoke is fading, they're going to retake control of banana. They're doing it at 120, which I think it might be a little bit early, but their smoke is fading, so they want to get the jump on this right now. So we saw him line up with the wall here. We're just going to watch it again just to see how effective this lineup is. So he lines up the right side, and then running throws at the bottom of the porch. Pretty cool pop flash there. I don't know if this smoke is too good. Gap on the right side. Probably enough to scare away FaZe for the time being. Shox gonna early rotate off of this bottom smoke. Pretty good idea. Kenny S trading frags with Kiyoshima in mid. With no info, Kiyoshima has no idea if somebody's in here, but he'll probably check. I don't know if sunlight is on their side here, like if he can see the shadow peeking around. I think it's coming to the right, so he won't get a shadow, or he shouldn't anyways. Kyo hasn't made any noise here. Ooh, wonderful play from Shox. Gets 2 free frags because Kyo didn't check the cubby, and his teammate didn't check cubby. So Alu's pushing to the site. Let's see if Shox goes up in the apps. Waiting for his teammate so they can push the site. Alu's head is sticking up, has no idea what's coming. And G2 pick up a round. So G2 picking up that rifle round is pretty important for them to start off their CT half. Counter out any aggression. Body is playing up close by sandbags. The counter flash to come out in case they push fast. Spotty gets a nasty one tap on a Nico. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of Shox's previous teammates would not be able to land shots like that against some of the best players in the world, or they wouldn't have confidence to challenge them at those angles. And Spotty is extremely consistent and one of the standout new pickups from the front shuffles. So really cool to see that Body is getting frags. And as far as I know, Shox is IGLing for G2, so the fact that he went 30-9 on such an important map is like kind of crazy. Throws a pretty standard molly and falls back. It's sort of unsafe rotating through like that because you don't know if they're pushed up near sandbags. Could be opping. Gets an easy spray down. Kyo cheesing him out. And G2 end up getting the retake. So Shox is going through here, setting up this flash. They don't molly close. Instead, they opt to back up towards this site. They don't have a lot of info here. So Shox takes his shot again. Kyo with the dig, and the other dig. Pretty crazy. And G2 ends up picking up the round. Weird that, well, I guess he does have this CT rotator here, but it's weird that he's playing unsafe on a gun round. Or not unsafe, but Body's still playing in the same position as sandbags. Instead of holding a flash for him, he's playing up close. So it seems like they're more susceptible to one of these rushes here, but let's see if they shut it down. Frag. Shox looking to duel somebody at top banana. I guess he does have a teammate as backup, so retaking banana is not the worst decision here. So interesting to see if they are getting top banana control fast and he's playing up close like that. He is looking for duels, one. He's not playing in cover. He's not playing like a jiggle peeking angle like somebody like maybe Zipnix would. He's looking for these duels. So that is I think unsafe because I mean another pop flash could come out. I don't know if FaZe is that coordinated. It seems like they're playing a little bit more scrimmy and aim heavy. So kind of weird to see them not relying on more of their utility, especially when they need to be picking up these rounds. Shox kind of whiffs on the frag there. Apex gets rotated back because they know one is B. Probably a call from mid, just to tell them that they're probably rotating to the site now. MBK gets flashed out. Pretty easy frag. Trying to get out of apps. Pretty tough here. Only 30 seconds left. They have to commit.
Bomb has been planted.
Bomb planted. Molly off and hit. I like this positioning from whoever is playing here. Number 4. It might be... Oh, it's Kyo. Yeah, that half hit is super strong in retakes. You can't really molly it off coming up porch like that. Or at least the molly isn't. It's pretty hard to do anyways. Boosting Apex can spawn early. Anticipating an early B hit. Leaves A pretty light. It doesn't look like Kerrigan on his T side has been wanting to take early banana control very much. Only one round. They did it like fast, um, and they were on an eco. When they did get frags, they fell back. So Shox is rotating back. So with apps control at 1 minute, Kerrigan is sending people to retake banana, trying to get a free frag, trying to see which site he can open up. Weird to see Kenny S step off this angle. I wonder if why he's going to play this site, as opposed to. Oh, he wants this boiler angle. Kenny S is really proficient at this because he can hold both right side of mid and boiler at the same time because he can flick back and forth. Plus, in case, and I believe this is NBK, in case NBK goes down, he can cover apps by just falling back to the site. Yep, NBK gets a frag and apps, falls back. So this is where the B stack pays off. Apex is already ready for whoever's body refrags. Kind of gets that pick from near pit, so it's pretty easy. And Shox is on to the double op. I don't really know if I like this from Shox. I know Thorn talked about it. He said it's kind of a pet peeve of his. He doesn't really think that this is how the CT side should be run, with Shox picking up the op pretty much anytime they can see it. Kenny S gets a collateral in mid and a third frag, maybe even a fourth. Oh my goodness, Kenny S going absolutely insane in mid. This is exactly the type of star power that you get when you have Kenny S on your team. And he gets the ace. Wow, what a massive round from Kenny S. Completely annihilating FaZe. They've been going mid pretty much every single round in the early game. And it doesn't look like they're stopping. A little bit fast from body on the smoke particles. I think that's a little early. Body and Apex, pretty much teeing off on these guys. Shox is back up. Such fast reaction times from Shox on the op there. I like how he wasn't greedy by going to car. Looks like he is going to kills Alu on the peak. Totally wasn't ready for that. Kerrigan will probably pick the op back up. Shox holding a pretty standard angle here from CT. I like this angle. Almost gets killed from whoever's leading that op. It looks like they're X and V. They only have 2 people here this time, so let's see how. You should be able to hear the scope here. Oh my goodness. Knows exactly where it's planted. Can tell where the wall bang is through the apartments, through the coffins, and gets one sick through the smoke wall bang, and then another no scope. Again, demonstrating some of the star power. I like that nade from body to backup Shox, just in case anybody was rushing. They would take some early nade damage. Nico, ever jiggling some angles, might hop up on logs here and get punished. Did he tag him? Nope. So Shox expecting the peek from the right side of half wall, and instead Nico hits him with a little half jump. Kiyoshima entering onto A. See, this is the thing about Rocket's dual op setup, is that when you're trying to retake a site like this, and I think this is a pretty good read by Kerrigan, retaking with 2 ops on A is pretty difficult when you don't have any positioning or any calls on where the site might be, where the bomb is planted on site, or where the T's are. So this has to be an element of the double op CT side that they've practiced. So hopefully they've they've found a way to adapt at least to retaking on this site. Another option might be that their teammates died in positions where they could pick up the rifles for the retake, but I doubt that they have planned that far ahead.
Bomb has been planted.
Looks like they want to retake through lane. So this is pretty important to note from G2 on Inferno's CT side, is that if they are retaking A, they're pretty much never coming through this wrap side. They're almost always going through mid, like they would a T, and peeking more favorable T angles. I don't know why they would never really send somebody through wrap. Might be just because you're getting peeked from so many different angles here that like you can't really predict anything. But that's an important thing to note, is that if you're worried about wrap side, then that makes Porch a lot less clean. Molly, does that actually get somebody out? Shox through the wall. Gets the next one as well. Absolutely insane from Shox. Has the forethought to know the next guy is coming out. Should be oh, no smoke from Apex. Looks like he's over on B. Good night. Shox has no idea that Nico's there. He didn't see the peek. Nico's jiggling here. Probably going to see Shox's body. Yep, only takes a little bit of damage. Doesn't even decide to spam. He knows Nico's there, so he should be expecting this this logs peek. Nico's jiggling. Gives it up. And all is off. Nico threw a pretty bad smoke, so we're not fighting on this this fake any. Body's throwing a lot of utility. Nico's job looks like, oh well, Apex already rotated. This is a little bit of an over rotate, I think. That's Kenny. I think this is definitely an over rotate for G2. Even after they got a pick, Nico's just making a lot of noise, just jiggling angles out and using what utility he does have. And you see multiple CTs throwing almost all their nades into the banana choke. We are at only 30 seconds, which makes a difference, obviously, but interesting to see that they bit on this. Not hard, but they did bite on it. Looks like somebody's going up wrap. Kenny sees that it's quiet. Body sees nobody's pushing up. Kerrigan gets killed by NBK from pits. You can pretty much assume the rest of the guys are coming up porch side. Apex gets a frag. Olive kills Kenny.
Counter-terrorists win.
Apex for 5-7 cleans up. Alright. Into the last round of the half. Let's see if Shox wants to go for this peak. Stack here. First frag. Kerrigan, so you probably know that. Gonna be killing Shox, but Apex is ready on the site. Onto the pistol. Pretty interesting to see. Whenever Kerrigan or pretty much any other member except for like Rain is up in this like top banana, most of the other FaZe guys are right behind them. But if you see Nico or only see Nico or Rain chilling in banana, it's almost assured that the rest of the team is sitting somewhere in apps or bottom or second mid. Ooh, NBK with a dirty deeg. Where was that even? What the heck? Oh, that was in mid. Okay, so he's probably playing pit or something, and Ollie was trying to jiggle the angle. He does like to peek mid quite a lot on CT side, and sometimes it works, but when your team is playing all the way back and you can't get a trade frag, it seems sort of suboptimal. And Alu is one of the loosest players on FaZe in terms of his skill, so kind of sad to see him giving away free frags like that. Just waiting out any aggression. Nico gonna peek here. Destroys Shox to see if they get the pistol, and they do. Shox at 25-7, having a pretty insane CT half on the op. Showing that yes, indeed, you can double up on CT side still. Back down. Body finishes him off with a headshot, leaving only Kerrigan at B. Looks like they're holding pretty far back. I don't know why Kerrigan pushed there. It just seems sort of weird for him because they're playing the range game, waiting for people to push out. Rain hits logs with a nade. Ooh, chunky nade on the body. Hit him to 55. At 1 minute with no banana control, they're going to go up mid into brackets. Pretty safe decision here, I think. Smoke left side into that porch. Body gets the frag on covering the site while Keo retreats back into apps. And Shox is in mini pit. Pretty strong spot to hold for a retake. Pardon me. And we see the preference again for G2 not to hit this wrap side, but to instead go around porch, smoke off the left side, and clear angles one by one. This was a little bit less prevalent when like you could hold this like tight angle from car, as well as all the other angles being a little bit less favorable for tees on porch in the old Inferno. But in new Inferno, I think they made it definitely a lot easier for people to clear angles as a team, especially if you're using utility for pit and smoking off mid site and such and such. Playing a pretty standard post plant, getting in information in apps and just making sure nobody's lurking around. Should kill Keo in mid here. Yep, Kenny S gets him out. Pretty nice third person from the observer, thank you. And we're on to the 14th. So it looks like Shox has been playing banana. Somebody gets tagged in mid. See, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, is that Kerrigan loves to take deep banana control with somebody throwing this deep mid smoke. And we have two people fighting inside of the smoke, being Body and Shox. Let's see if they get mollied out. Can't see anything through the particle effects. Just waiting. Wow, meaty nades onto Keo there. Pretty rough eating 3 HEs. Pretty important that they naded here, because now he has to play back on the site. They want to boost over this lurk smoke. Interesting. Keo finds out Kenny boosting in the smoke. Apex and Shox both win their duels. Pretty interesting to see Shox swinging wide on Church, even though they don't know if anyone's there. This is a pretty standard molly that people are throwing now in front of car. It doesn't usually spread to car, but it just stops people from pushing in front of half wall. Um, I don't know how much it does. I mean, it seems pretty good because like if you're playing a rifle or an op from here, or pretty much anything, it's very hard to see through these particle effects. Um, Nico loses. Nico wins the duel. A little bit of buy swapping going on here. Anyways, Nico wins the duel on Shox up. Nothing new there. Shox just kind of wide peeking with no utility and no support. With the delay in their start, it looks like Kerrigan has gotten deep into Banana, and they're very suspicious of this already, so it looks like Kerrigan is probably going to get caught out here. Kenny is also really great at shotgun opping, so... Kenny tagging Shox up there a little bit, no worries. They know at least one person is there. Surprised to see that they're not going for any type of boost to see over that car snarf. A lot of teams like to do that as well. At about a minute, looks like they're grouping up mid. Shox is going to use some utility over at B. Just to make sure that the rotator stays while they are going up mid. I like this. Coordinating the utility used on upper Banana is going to make the comms a little bit more muddled for the rest of the FaZe members while they're walking up mid and clearing angles. While Nico is... I don't know how Nico is on comms for FaZe, but if he's the only person at B, he should be calling out utility being used to take top Banana. There's only about 30 seconds left, so wherever they're using utility might be where the sight hit is going to come, so it might draw off one of these rotators. Looks like Rain is playing pretty strong on the ramp, though. Apex wins the duel against Alu. Oh, that's Alu. See, Alu's losing duels all over the place, man. I don't know why he isn't just playing safe with his teammates here, like at this bumper for rap, getting flashed in, or I don't know. It seems weird that he's giving up all these duels. Okay, against Keo. How much do you want to bet that Shox gets this 180, by the way? Doesn't look like it. Looks like Apex is going to plant for Pit, while Kenny S is finishing up. Wow, great shot from Kenny S. Apex finishing it off with a 30-9 score line. Let's see, where did Apex get most of his frags? He didn't do a great job of getting banana control. He won probably like 50% of his duels, which is not bad, but it was to lesser weaponry most of the time. He also had a monster CT half, basically. What did we learn about some of his playstyle? We learned that Body loves to play sandbags. Body loves playing sandbags. They don't do this. They don't do this retake very often, and they like to play passive outside of or inside of elbow. The nade that comes over half wall and hits this opper posted here early is very good if you don't see any utility on a buy round. And Shox very rarely goes for this peek and banana. I don't think I saw Kenny come banana once this entire game either. So it looks like he is locking down in mid this two-pronged op setup. And is that a critique of their CT side? If they need that to win, it is probably not going to work for them in the long term because for instance, teams like SK who did lose to FaZe on Inferno, to be fair, they run double op setups in a lot of their CT sides and even some of their their T sides, so they should know the strengths and weaknesses there. But The other thing is a lot of teams like to get that. They basically get banana control early in the first 30 seconds. Um, have their rotator smoke bottom of banana, then have their upper post, and then when the smoke is fading, have the upper re-smoke, continue to post, and that usually leaves the enemy team with between 50 and 30 seconds left to hit the site. And in order to clear out all of top banana, you have to use a lot of utility, which lets the rotator come back. 3 stacked on B makes it pretty compelling as a CT defense. But that is not what they're doing. They're having Shox hold this sort of loose angle here, and even though he was getting a ton of frags while people pushing up, shotgun opping on the site, yada yada, and even on the retake he was looking really crisp. But it it looks like the initial setup is a little abusable, especially if you're able to, especially if you're able to neutralize body in some way. Um, Body often playing behind sandbags. Sandbags is one of the most mollied positions in banana on a T side, not counting this kind of standard front car molly. So yeah, I mean if you're breaking down their CT side, I mean going for an MBK push to apps a couple of times, getting first frags. If you're trying to break down their CT side, I think that you have to really appreciate how kind of unpredictable they were. I think they threw every way to handle banana at least once in this, like the 3-man push, the deep smoke rotate early from apex or body. Yeah, they use pretty much everything. Holding this crack with the op, taking the fast peek, um, and it didn't look like Ollie was ready for that at all. Pretty much throughout the T side. I wanted to take a look at the scoreboard here. If of course Kenny's flick here is enormous. Pretty interesting plant here in the 2v1. Apex planting open to rap side, even though Kenny is not covering it. But it is a plant for Kenny. So fast. Good lord. How many frags? Is that a 0? No, it's an 8. That's gotta be an 8. Sorry, this is a little annoying, but I just want to get the scoreboard up. Rain, Alu, Nico, Kerrigan, 10, 10, 8, and 7. Oh, that was for the entire game, I think. Yeah, so Nico not carrying too hard. Looks like they're on acceptable pings, like between 30 and 40. Not the best, but certainly not egregious. Pretty weird to see Nico having a really off game. I don't know if that speaks to his consistency on Inferno or in the system. He might have just been having an off game as well. But yeah, really huge from G2. They ended up winning and qualifying and basically bumping FaZe out in this game, bumping FaZe out from the EPL finals. Or ESL, yeah, EPL finals, season 5. So pretty sad to see that G2 bumping out one of the top 3 contenders. Astralis is also not going to be in attendance, which leaves which leaves only SK in North America. So not reading too much into this is also important because LAN means probably 10 times what online does because of the pressure situation, yada yada yada. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for ways to exploit G2's CT side, I think even though Shox is still one of the best players in the world, keeping their econ low and hitting banana in the mid round because they're not retaking banana late, you can still clear out as a 4-man squad, clearing out apps, together to get trade frags and then re-rotating back into banana. Um, I think you would probably have to do it at around a minute 20, or like between 1 and 120 to try to get them to use their utility first. And SK is really good at doing this, where they'll throw one CT smoke and one flash to try to get their utility out, wait 20 seconds, and then re-smoke CT. Um, Even though that might draw a rotator, you're never sure if that CT smoke is one, a fake, or two, a bait to get more utility out. And if you're or the start of a hit, and if you're slow to react to that, kind of rock paper scissors, you could get caught out. So I think anyone employing that kind of rock paper scissors, you should talk to if you're if you're on good terms with SK, you should talk to Fallen about using that tactic, and trying to figure out ways to bleed out some of the economy from, especially on those low nade AK buys on the T side. Anyways, this was a really fun demo to review. Again, if you like this demo, go check out Countered Flicks. This is the page that I'm finding all these POV demos from. They have a ton of really great POV demos that I've been reviewing and analyzing. Also, if you have any recommendations or requests, please hit me up on Twitter. It's at BenInMotion_. I would love to hear from you. Also, if you liked the content or the analysis, leave a like or a comment. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, especially if you have suggestions. Also, if you dig these POVs, check out some of the other ones in the playlist or subscribe for more. I try to do one every couple of days or every other day, because I want to really try to dig in deep to some of these high tier teams and their T and CT sides before the PGL major. I think that taking a look at their form, some of the tactics that they employ, and some of their defaults is going to be really important in deconstructing some of the matchups going into PGL. And hopefully those groups are going to be coming out soon, because after the minors are over, we're gonna be having some fun. Anyways, thank you so much for watching if you did, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.